Last Land with London abroad. Hey y'all, welcome to my channel, where I will share my personal travel experiences as I land around the world. What do we have in store for today? Come along. Now, if you watched my last vlog, I kinda said I was gonna do a bike tour next. Well, I had a change of plans. So if you're looking for the bike tour, well, this ain't it. Let me preface and say that this video is not for the faint at heart. I've warned you. So basically, because I was so intrigued by the catacombs tour that I had told y'all about in the last video, I decided to do it again, but with some added flair. The reason being, the catacombs tour that I did previously felt really rushed to me, and I still had plenty of questions that needed answers. No fear, this time I booked a private tour, and this is it. Now, although I still can't show y'all any footage from the catacombs, please believe all my questions were finally answered. And if you are interested in what I learned, let me know in the comments and I can do a separate video just on the catacombs. But sorry, there won't be any live footage. Now, on to the good stuff. So the second part of this tour was checking out Lima's very first general cemetery and one of the largest in the world. Now this kind of ties into the catacombs because this is where the folks that were not buried in the catacombs were buried. So when we arrived, first thing I noticed was an old hearse. I mean, this thing has got to be at least 100 to 200 years old, if not older. As I walked up the steps, I quickly realized that the cemetery was located on an entire elevated surface. My mind was already shook. Of course, I had never seen anything like it. Crypts, mausoleums, and tombs for as far as the eye can see. Also, there is a section of the cemetery that is not available to tourists due to it literally being a pile of dirt with bodies underneath. I mean, the thought of such incompassion for the deceased is unbelievable. So let me tell y'all how this works. So the bodies are placed inside of these spaces, but there is a system, a very distinct system that separates the folks with money versus the folks that don't have as much money. So the tombs that are located at eye level towards the middle are the most expensive. Lower is less expensive, and towards the top is the cheapest. Reason being, the tombs at eye level are easily accessible for viewing, so you pay for that convenience, versus the tombs located towards the top are pretty much only accessible via ladder. This whole concept just blew my mind, and so different from what I would expect from a cemetery. Notice the various sizes of the plots, which differ for babies and young children versus the larger ones for adult bodies of larger size. There were couple plots with people buried next to each other as well. Unfortunately, due to theft and increasing criminal activity, there were plots that were missing information as it was stolen to be sold on the black market. The criminals have gone so far to remove the actual remains from many of the plots. The V that you see here means the plot was sold to someone for money, which was a concept that was hard for me to stomach. I mean, when I tell y'all I was shook, never in life. Due to the cemetery being the oldest in Lima, the majority of folks buried here no longer have immediate family that are still living to care for the plots or even check on the conditions. Some of the existing family members figured that they could add a barrier to protect the plots like the ones shown here. These barriers really preserve the longevity, and as you can see, the plots look brand new. Among the general public buried here are a ton of notable people, including former President Ramon Castilla Mosquito, who abolished slavery in Peru. There is a whole sanctuary dedicated to the victims of the Pacific War. The mausoleums were mind-blowing, and the detail and architecture was superb. Another notable thing that stood out was this tomb. This was the very first person that was buried here. She was a nun, and the cup of water that you see is filled up daily, as the belief is that the dead need water, and it's been said that the water level is lowered daily as it's being consumed. All in all, the tour was definitely a 10 out of 10, and just reminded me that we are all going to die one day. And when that day comes, everyone will lay the same way. Sometimes it's hard to realize that because life gets in the way, but life shouldn't get in the way. Life is the way. If you enjoyed this video and are interested in continuing to land with me, please like and subscribe. Until next time.